Viewers' discretion is advised. Houston police officer Ashley Gonzales made one big mistake. She taped it. The views that she have and the actions that she took did not manifest overnight. It is part of the culture of police agencies. It always happens, but it always gets swept up on the rug. But do you have people that take it upon themselves and feel emboldened to do what she did? They become a scapegoat. So they threw her up under the bus. Now that AI is a big thing, I asked AI certain questions. And I asked AI something about this particular case. So I said, she's a scapegoat. She learned that targeting black people would not be punished as long as she did it in silence. But she messed up by making a video for all to see. So they threw her under the bus. There are many racist white cops still on the force, and the FBI said so. This is what AI responded by saying: the view that Ashley Gonzales was thrown under the bus for being caught publicly is a sentiment shared by many critics of law enforcement. They argued that her dismissal was a PR move by the Houston Police Department rather than a genuine shift in culture. As many believe, similar attitudes are tolerated as long as they remain behind closed doors. Your point about the FBI's finding is supported by several official reports and warnings issued over the last 2 decades. FBI warning on law enforcement. The FBI has explicitly identified white supremacist infiltration and explicit racism as persistent threats to the integrity of United States law enforcement. Ghost skins and infiltration. A landmark 2006 FBI intelligence assessment warned that white supremacist groups were recruiting members to become ghost skins, individuals who do not overtly display their beliefs so they can blend into society and covertly advance white supremacist causes within the departments. Active links to extremists. In 2015, the FBI Counterterrorism Policy Guide noted that domestic terrorism investigations often identify active links between white supremacists and extremists and law enforcement officers. Abuse of authority. The FBI's unredacted reports state that such infiltration results in abuses of authority and passive tolerance of racism within communities served, which aligns with your concern that targeting black people is often ignored until it becomes a public scandal. The Ashley Gonzales case update. As of April 24th, 2026, Ashley Gonzales was officially fired by Houston Police Department Chief J. No Diaz following a termination hearing. The department described her behavior as abhorrent and disgusting, but civil rights activists, such as those from the Houston NAACP, have emphasized that racist cops cannot protect the people they hate and are calling for a full review of her past arrests to see if her bias led to wrongful imprisonment. Evidence of systemic bias. Critics argue the scapegoat theory is reinforced by the fact that many officers with known ties to extremist groups or records of racist behavior are often only disciplined after a public outcry. Plainview Project. A major investigation in 2019 found over 5,000 bigoted social media posts from thousands of active and retired officers across 8 cities. While some were fired, many remain on the force with only minor counseling. Lack of national strategy. Despite the FBI's own warnings, organizations like the Brenham Center for Justice point out that there is still no national strategy to proactively identify and remove racist officers before they cause harm. What Ashley Gonzales did is something that all police officers do, and that includes black police officers. I have never heard one black police officer stand up and say what is going on within the black community is wrong. They remain silent. They want to keep their jobs. They could care nothing about what goes on in the black community. Police officers are about the blue. They are not about the black. And I'm talking about the black officers. You do nothing. A guy asked me, should there be more black police officers on the force? I said we already got black police officers on the force. What are they doing? They are too afraid to stand up and speak out against, I guess, their training on how it's okay to beat, arrest, and maim black people. There's a case going on right now. This black lady and her 3 children in the car. Cops pull out the guns, terrorizing them. Then they come to find out they got the wrong car. This is what always happens. They don't make sure that when they stop a black person, that there's a person they're looking for. They always terrorize black people. And then when they shoot you and kill you, oh, he didn't want to come give you $2-3 million like they're supposed to bring that person back. That's a Band-Aid on an open wound. There was a case a few years ago where these 5 or 6 black officers beat this black man to death. You would expect that from white cops or something, but not from black cops. That is proof. There is a culture of cops where it's okay to kill a black person and then nothing will happen. Why would I even contemplate joining the police department when I know that there is nothing I can do to assist and help my people? When there's a black officer, he's trying to do something for his people, the white cops take over. They tell him, hey man, go get in your car, go over, we got this. They pull rank on him. There's nothing you can do. And then the black officer wants to step in and say, hey man, no, I got this. You don't show yourself to be a man on the police force, but you want to come out in the community and talk trash and stick your chest out like you're the man. Now I know that there are some black people that are looking for a black and brown coalition. There is no such thing. Now let me be honest. There are good people in all races. I know some Hispanic guys. There are the salt of the earth. There are good people. When I was in 5th Ward, there was this lady, her name was Trina, Miss Trina. She had 3 sons, Sam, Dave, and Daniel. They were all good people. I mean, they will help you. But they had a cousin, he was racist toward black people. And the problem is, the racists often bully the good people and will make them or force them into seeing things their way or to make them be silent when they seeing things happening to black people. Again, I say I know some good people of all races. I met good people of all races in my life and time. One time I was over in the bottoms in 5th Ward. This cop, I was out there talking to this Hispanic guy, and the cops whooped up there and they separated us. So after it's all said and done, the Hispanic guy told me, you know what the cop asked me? Why am I hanging with you? Well, these bully people, they try to force other people into being racist like them. And the problem is, as I say, is that most good people do not have the power. They don't have the power to be good people. If they do try to be good people, now they want to get harassed and bullied. It makes them want to isolate themselves from black people. I think that Ashley Gonzales, she expresses the views of many Hispanics. Let's be honest. There are a lot of Hispanics that do not like black people. I mean, you can go look through history. In the 50s and 60s, all up to now. where you have had Hispanics that fought against aligning with black people. This is what AI had to say about that. While many Hispanic leaders have historically worked in solidarity with black Americans, some notable figures and movements have explicitly opposed or resisted such alliances due to differing views on civil rights strategies, racial identity, and political priorities. Historical leader Felix Tienriña, as the national president of the League of United Latin American Citizens in 1957, Tienriña famously declared, "Let the Negro fight his own battles," when responding to the suggestion of a black Mexican-American alliance. He argued that the problems facing black Americans were not the same as those facing Mexican Americans, and expressed a direct refusal to ally with them. LULAC's white strategy. During the early to mid 20th century, some leaders within the organization like LULAC pursued a Caucasian legal strategy by identifying Mexican Americans as white under the law. They aimed to distance the community from the segregational policies targeting black Americans, often leading to a rejection of shared civil rights coalitions. Contemporary political leaders. In recent years, some leaders have faced criticism for private remarks that reveal opposition to black political power or alliances. Nuri Martinez, the former Los Angeles City Council president, resigned in 2022 after a leaked recording captured her making racist remarks about the black son of a colleague and criticizing black political influence in the city. Kevin DeLeon and Gil Cedillo, also present on the leaked Los Angeles recording. These council members were heard discussing ways to dilute black political representation in favor of Latin interests, which was widely seen as an intentional move against cross-racial alignment. Ron Herrera, the former head of the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor, resigned following his involvement in the same recorded conversation, which highlighted deep-seated tensions and competitive rather than a collaborative stance toward black political groups. Manuel C. Gonzales, a prominent LULAC leader and attorney who served as national president in the early 1930s, but remained highly influential through the 1950s as a legal advisor. He was a staunch proponent of the legal whiteness strategy, arguing that Mexican Americans were Caucasians and that any attempt to group them with black Americans in desegregation efforts was a misclassification. Peter Garcia, while not a national political leader, he was a notable local activist and LULAC member in Dallas during the 1950s who took extreme measures to resist integration. He was involved in bombing the homes of black families who moved into white neighborhoods, justifying his action as asserting that Mexican Americans were part of the white community being encroached upon. George I. Sanchez, although a giant of civil rights who mentored many, Sanchez's work in the 1950s has been criticized by historians for its anti-black implications. While he fought for desegregation, he so often did so by arguing that Mexican Americans were white and thus being illegally segregated, a tactic that relied on maintaining the exclusion of black students to prove the unfairness of including Mexican Americans in the same category. American GI Forum early leadership. While primarily focused on veteran rights, early leaders like Dr. Hector P. Garcia often prioritized Mexican-American whiteness in court cases like Hernandez versus Texas, 1954. This legal strategy was designed to distance the community from the legal restrictions placed on non-white groups, which included Black Americans. Order's Sons of America, a predecessor and affiliate of LULAC, this organization restricted members strictly to United States of a Mexican or Spanish extraction and focused on assimilation into white American society. The early 20th century foundation set the precedent for the mid-century's focus on distancing the community from non-white racial groups. The Mexican-American civic clubs, local civic and betterment clubs, especially in Texas, often campaign to have their members recognized on the white side of Jim Crow. This included fighting for access to white-only spaces by arguing that classifying them as Black Americans was a misclassification, rather than arguing for the end of segregation for everyone. Caucasian legal tactics. Groups frequently filed lawsuits arguing that because Mexican Americans were white, they were being illegally placed in schools or public facilities with Black Americans, effectively using anti-Black sentiment as a tool for their own advancement. The return to Hispanic identity. In the late 1970s and 1980s, the term Hispanic was popularized by the government and adopted by mainstream organizations. This shift was partly a move away from the Chicano identity, which was seen as to align with Black radicalism. The Hispanic label was often marketed as a way to blend back into American mainstream, which for many meant emphasizing Spanish heritage, European white, rather than indigenous or multiracial links to the Black community. By the 1980s, many of the old clubs and organizations returned to the idea of Mejor la Raza, which is an old ideology that values whiteness. This manifested in media like Univision, Telemundo, and leadership circles that rarely featured Black Latinos or collaborated with Black American organizations, effectively returning to the silent exclusion seen in the 1950s. Hispanic organizations often use illegal victories won by Black activists, like Brown versus Board of Education, to advance their own causes, but they frequently framed their own court cases in a way that argued we should be treated like Black people because we are white, rather than arguing that no one should be treated that way. The strategy of assimilation. Many Hispanic clubs in the 50s focused on proving they were 100% American. To them, American meant aligning with the white majority, which often meant adopting the same prejudices or distancing tactics used by white society against Black Americans. The case of Ashley Gonzales has recently been cited as a modern example of deep-seated anti-Black sentiment within some segments of the Hispanic community. In 2026, April, Gonzales was fired after a video she posted to social media went viral. In the footage, she expressed explicit hatred. She repeatedly used the N-word and other racial slurs, stating, "I fucking hate niggers, and I fucking hate chimps." Threatened targeted policing. She declared that if she responded to a 911 call and a Black person was present, she would take them to jail regardless of the circumstances. Mocked historical trauma. She made disparaging remarks about slavery, stating that that was the reason Black people were enslaved. Claimed a sense of peace. She described using racial slurs during a prior arrest of a Black individual, claiming that being able to say it out loud made her feel at peace. And it's because of that I say that there is no black and brown alliance. The brown people that may want to get along with black people have no power. You are powerless. The ones like Ashley Gonzales has the power. They are on the force. They are in the courts. They are employers. They are the gatekeepers of certain resources that have been allocated to Hispanics and other immigrants opposed to being given to black Americans who actually put into the system. Some black people have to wake up to the fact that we don't need help. We don't need alliances. You look at history, when black people were successful, we didn't receive help. We did it all on our own. No Hispanics, no Africans, no Asians, nobody but us. We did this. And if we're going to rise to the top, we have to realize it is us that has to do it again. We cannot rely on other people because every time we reach out and offer this olive branch, they get it and they step on it and kick it. They might burn it. There is no alliance. We have to be stronger than what we are. In the book of Sirach, it says that you never accept a friend without first giving them an examination. Most black people don't do that. They see a person with a smiling face and they want, oh, that's my friend, that's my friend. But you never took the time out to see if they are actually your friend. Smiling faces sometimes pretend to be your friend. And as I said earlier, this is not only for the other races, this is for our race too. We can't trust people like Al Sharpton. He's a smiling face. He is not our friend. He has never been our friend. He has been given a place, a seat at the table, only to do their bidding. It is the content of their character. Now, this Ashley Gonzales chick said that she arrested some black person. I am praying that whoever that black person is will step forward and reveal what happened during that arrest. Everyone that was arrested by this lady, I'm praying that they will step forward and reveal what happened during that arrest. Let's throw the book at this chick, today. Every other race thinks of their own people first, but not black folks. We think of everybody else first. A house divided will not stand.